The RV Advisor, created to protect the rights of the RV enthusiast. Learn more at thervadvisor.com.
This is the RV Advisor Podcast with your host, Tom Alexander. Get all the latest information, trends, advice from experts, stories from the road, and more in the world of recreational vehicles. Now, here's Tom.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the RV Advisor Podcast. I'm Tom Alexander. Today's guest is the Chief Marketing Officer for RV SnapPad. It is Kent Wilson. Kent, welcome.
Thanks. Yeah, glad to be here.
Yeah, it's great to have you on board, and we're looking forward to hearing a lot about what RV SnapPad does. I'm looking on the website, and it's specifically for travel trailers, and but you do an awful lot. That's just the tip of the iceberg.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, we were chatting ahead of time, and your offices are in Calgary, in Alberta, Canada. But you said most of the manufacturing takes place here in the U.S.
Yeah, that's correct. We started with one manufacturer in Indiana back in 2015 when we launched, and now we've had to expand to California, Southern Carolina, and Southern Michigan just because it's going pretty well. And then RVing kind of exploded last year because of COVID too.
It certainly did, and somewhat unexpectedly. I since there was no precedent for that, everybody was sort of a little nervous and scratching their head and wondering just what was going to happen with not only the RV industry, but multiple industries, everything, right?
Yeah.
But lo and behold, we were all of us stunned to learn that the RV industry just went into overdrive.
Just exploded. Yeah, it was crazy. For us, our manufacturing kind of went down at first just because a lot of stuff was shut down when the pandemic came.
Right.
And then sort of the first month of business was very pensive. No one, as you say, knew what was going to happen. And then everyone started RVing in North America. And we're still trying to catch up on the backlog that caused.
Amazing. And how has it been there in Alberta? Has it been, is it improving, the situation with the pandemic?
Yeah, it actually recently started to really improve. So Canada was kind of slow to start vaccinating. They were kind of back in the queue behind like the UK and the US when it came to getting vaccinations, but we've been getting a lot of them now. So it looks like over the next 2 months, we'll be opening up fully.
That's terrific. Yeah, I know it's been a kind of a staggered situation depending upon which country you are. And I think there's a lot of people here in the U.S. that sometimes they almost say the sentence together, Canada and the U.S. It's like they think of it as one big, happy family, and it is in many ways. But at the same time, you have your own sets of challenges and having to wait in line.
Yeah, exactly. And all the provincial governments up here all had their own sort of things that they were doing. So there wasn't just one rule. There was the federal rules and the provincial rules. And then, so it was a little complicated. Yeah.
Now, are you a native Canadian or are you born in the U.S.?
No, born and raised here in Calgary.
Yeah. So let me ask you, I know that keeping up with this sort of spike in sales and rentals and everything else in the RV industry, have you guys been able to kind of keep things, meet the demand, if you will?
Not really. Is actually our biggest problem right now. So as I mentioned, our manufacturing was kind of kneecapped by the pandemic last year. At the time, we only had the one manufacturer that we had launched with still. So we had to spend the last 12 months in the middle of a pandemic looking for other partners. And we've gotten, three other manufacturers going remotely. We haven't been able to visit them or go out down and see them. So that has been very challenging. And the other challenge we're facing now is labor. So we have all of these guys sort of tooled up and they know how to make the product, but they're having a lot of problems hiring more staff as we try to scale. So that's kind of the next step of the challenges we're facing. And we're hoping, we're going to conquer those sort of during the summer here.
Yeah. Our guest is the Chief Marketing Officer of RV SnapPad. You can go to rvsnappad.com. It is Kent Wilson. And we'll talk a little bit more with Kent. We'll take a quick break and we'll be back right here on the RV Advisor podcast.
Buying an RV is an exciting moment, like buying a new house. You should inspect the RV and the contracts thoroughly. You may not know what to look for, and that's where the RV Advisor comes in. GG and her experts are here for you at rvadvisor.com.
We are back on the RV Advisor podcast. My guest is the Chief Marketing Officer from rvsnappad.com. It is Kent Wilson. Kent, how long has RV SnapPad been around?
Yeah, I think I mentioned briefly there that we started late 2015. It was kind of sort of a subject. It's a family company, so it was my brothers and my father. We just kind of came up with the idea. We were able to find that manufacturer, sort of make some prototypes, and just put up a quick web page at the end of 2015. And then by 2016, we were already starting to gain steam. My father and my younger brother started working full time for the company. I joined full time in 2017, and then by 2018, we were selling to dealers and distributors. So it was kind of a pretty quick evolution that we're still sort of trying to manage properly.
Yeah, and to see it grow like that's got to be pretty exciting. And kind of, to meet a need, identify the need initially, and then go ahead and try to meet it. That was your dad's idea?
Yeah, my dad actually launched a product 25 or 30 years ago into the RV market. So that was when we were all pretty young. So he came back to us now that we're all grown and said, hey guys, I think we want to try something else in the RV market. Let's try this, some sort of permanent jack pad. And actually the initial ideas were around an adhesive or very strong magnets. And only through prototyping did we eventually come across sort of the lip snap-on idea.
Yeah. And when you have the prototype, these kinds of things, and you're looking to kind of expand and make it for for the consumer.
Yeah.
That process, okay, here it is. Here's the prototype. Do you actually physically, so the companies in the U.S. actually manufacture the products,
That's
right?
Yeah.
So there had to be some sort of patented design, I'm assuming, for these, and take us through that process if you can. Idea to prototype or working model to mass production.
So our partner in the States, our first manufacturer, they kind of took us on, and we started working with their engineer on the basic idea. Mm-hmm. So we worked through, adhesive didn't seem to make any sense. The magnets weren't strong enough to guarantee they would stay on. And one day when we were working on sort of the mag pad idea, which is what we called it, the engineer in question kind of made a lip on it anyways, just because it was part of the initial design. And he came back to us and said, I don't think you need magnets. We've been testing this out. And then once we shake tested it in a lab after that, just to be sure, and it doesn't come off even at 50 Gs, 50 times the force of gravity. So we said, okay, this works as an idea. We applied for a US patent, and while that was coming through, we put it up and wanted to see if there was product market fit, and there was. So once we started getting traction with the first product, we actually had people contacting us and said, well, I don't have jacks like this. I have jacks like this. And we started a waiting list for new products. So once that got to a critical mass for jack type B, then we made that product, and so on and so forth.
I see. Yeah, very interesting.
Yeah.
And of course, you're the marketing director, the chief marketing officer is the exact title. And tell us a little bit about your background when you came in, and kind of how that all panned out.
Yeah, well, at the time when the company launched, I was actually working for a marketing agency, digital marketing agency here in Calgary. So I had a sort of a deep background in using Facebook and making advertisements and doing Google and things like that. So when we initially launched, I was the one sort of making the ads that people would see and making the campaigns. Even though we didn't have much budget, we have a little bit just to put on Facebook and things. So the funny thing is my job, we had to turn off all advertising last year in 2020 when the pandemic hit. Just as I said, we couldn't make the pads fast enough, so it didn't make sense to try to market them. And I've only been able to turn things on a little bit here recently, so it was almost a year without advertising or marketing of any kind.
Yeah, yeah. And so your background kind of skill set with marketing is I'm assuming some script writing, radio work, that kind of thing. I mean, is that something that you had background in?
Yeah, it was more specific to digital marketing, so copywriting for websites or for digital ads,
Right.
creating entire campaigns using platforms like that. So yeah, all of that type of stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Now you've transitioned into the family business, which is that's
perfect.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So if since you're the point person for all that stuff, tell our viewers and our listeners how they can, if they're interested in the products, the best way to learn more about them and possibly purchase.
Yeah, the best thing you need to do is to visit us at rvsnappad.com, and we have what's called a submit your rig quiz. And because there's so many different kinds of jacks and leveling systems, we need to help you with compatibility typically. So you tell us a few facts about your RV, and then we get back to you and say, we recommend this SnapPad package for you. You can buy it from us, or we're on Amazon, we're in RV Upgrades, we're on eTrailer, we're probably in a dealership near you, assuming they have inventory right now. As I mentioned, we're still kind of struggling to meet demand, but at the very least, even if we don't have your product right now, we can put you on a wait list and we'll let you know when it's ready.
Terrific.
Yeah.
And with how busy you are, any you or any members of the family have any time for RVing, getting away from it all?
I wish. Yeah, we haven't had a lot of time to get out of the office at all. And in fact, we like to visit the US when we can, just because we attend RV rallies and conventions, and we meet with our partners down there, and we haven't been able to do that for so long. So we're looking forward to traveling again.
Well, it sounds really interesting. It's a very interesting line of work, and always having to, not only keep up with the demand, but innovate as well, and kind of do new things. So that's exciting. So we really do appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to chat with us today. Thanks so much.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, Kent Wilson is the Chief Marketing Officer of RV SnapPad. You can visit them at rvsnappad.com. This is the RV Advisor Podcast. Back in just a moment.
GPS is Gigi's personal services. She's an RV expert with over 3 decades of experience. Visit thervadvisor.com today.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the RV Advisor Podcast. I'm Tom Alexander, and of course, our guest coordinator joins us. It's Neve Carizacco. Hey, Neve, how are you?
Good. How are you doing, Tom?
Doing well. And I know that we've got always, lots of things going on at the RV Advisor. And we've had some guests on the show that have made, I guess you could say, quite an impact over the last couple of years, and none more impactful, if you will, than the Glampers.
Absolutely.
We see them all the time. It's Ara, Nicole, and Chris, and they're back.
They sure are back. Yeah. I mean, we've been talking on the, not that the viewers or members would ever see, but we're talking back and forth. I mean, daily at the moment over email, just so many exciting things in the pot right now cooking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We have kind of buttoned down as far as a date to do our rodeo themed special. So we're going to do it either the last week of August or the first week of September, because that falls around the time of Gigi's birthday. So we actually figured it would be really fun to have them in town and do such a fun event for her birthday. So yeah, that's
so her birthday's right around Labor Day then.
Yes, it sure is. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm super excited about that. I'm excited it'll be like a very different way for us to celebrate Gigi's birthdays. She likes to do things in style. So
Yes.
I mean, I have seen some very glamorous, fun and out there parties over the years that I have enjoyed tremendously with Gigi.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for this one, and I'm excited that we're able to loop it all in together and have the RV Advisor, obviously such a special place in both of our hearts and everyone's hearts as part of the RV Advisor. Yeah, I'm just excited to have it all in one big special day, we can say. So yeah, the girls are excited to join us. We are working really hard on rewrapping one of the vehicles that we are giving them as we go through the vehicle that they are having difficulty with. So yeah, we're working on many things with them. So hopefully we can, after that event, do another one, maybe for a Christmas special, who knows?
All right, there you go. Yeah, that's terrific. And I know that, because Gigi's mentioned this on her show on Just Ask Gigi about, working on a new headquarters, a good new location for a headquarters. Any updates you can share on that, or are we still in search mode?
It is in search mode. She's working diligently with a commercial realtor, to find something. Many years ago, Gigi was able to find a location that was more like a complex. And when I say complex, it was like just an RV resort nearly. You can purchase an RV, you can go play tennis. There was a huge RV store. So she's kind of back in that mind frame. It was very successful at the time. Unfortunately, we were not able to stay in that location very long, but I know the aim of our new headquarters is to kind of mirror the success we had at that old location. So yeah, we're working really hard on it. Just kind of an all-in outdoor experience. So maybe we can get other vendors and small businesses from around the South Florida region in on, renting, leasing this space and just becoming one big conglomerate. So that's what we're working on
sort of
right
like Gigi Land, kind of like a
exactly. That would be her dream. So yeah, she's working really hard on something like that. Go rent an RV, buy an RV, go see if there's a guy that's selling side by sides. Who knows? We're trying to work on something that like an outdoor enthusiast wonderland. We'll call it.
Yeah. Well, maybe I can open up a little snack bar there, and
yes. Maybe I can do a mini Irish bar.
I like that. Wow. Yes.
Get them drunk and then they can buy an RV.
Yeah. Neve's Pub.
Yes, I like
that.
Work.
That could work.
Yeah.
Man, listen, we're just a hot house of ideas here. So that there you go. Well, listen, Neve, as always, lots of fun to see you and chat with you and see what the latest and greatest is at the RV Advisor, and obviously lots going on. So with that, I guess we'll see you on Friday. That's we can almost guarantee that.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
We certainly thank you for watching and listening to the RV Advisor podcast. For Neve Carrizacco, I'm Tom Alexander. Have a great week, and we'll see you next time. So long, everybody.